To design this kind of portfolio website. This is kind of simple website. It's a very simple layout. I'm using just the CSS Flexbox and the CSS Grid. I'm sorry, I'm having a bad throat. So it's a kind of simple, kind of clean and elegant website that you can do under like 20 minutes. It's that easy. And if you're a beginner or if you are learning how to make websites, then this will be of real help. Okay, you will be able to understand how things work, how layout works, and how you have to create something that looks beautiful. And I'm going to design something that may look different or may look better or worse or whatever you say. So I'm using fonts from Google Fonts. I'll be using those things, and these icons are from Font Awesome. So I'm not using those kind of images, and all these images are from that Unsplash. So kind of simple website, and when I hover on these images there is a kind of rotation, so I'll be creating this effect as well. And when I hover on these links they are changing their color. So a little bit is happening, and this arrow is like when I hover on this it rotates, and when I click on this it takes me to the top of the website, and I will be showing you that as well. So first let's open that Google Fonts so we can use the fonts. We are not going to use some system built fonts, we are going to use the Google Fonts because that is the trend and everyone is using that. So let's start making. I am on my code editor. This is VS Code, Visual Studio Code. I'm sorry if my throat is bad. It's kind of very cold here. It's like late March, and it's still raining, kind of bad time going on. And also this is the time of that epidemic, or what do you call that? Some kind of thing is going on, but that is a very bad thing. So I'm like stuck in the room, so I decided to make some tutorials. So let's do it. So here is the HTML file. Sorry, here is the HTML file that I just created. Nothing I mean nothing special. So I will be pressing shift exclamation mark or one and then tab or enter, and it creates a bare bones for me so I can write the document. So I will be writing the name of the date today, that is 21st March, and then I need to put the link of the CSS file. So that is like link link, and when I click on this it completes itself. So my CSS file is inside the CSS folder, and the name is March 21st.css. That's it. Now I need to link that Font Awesome as well. Font Awesome is nothing but the CSS file. Those icons are CSS icons. That makes things easy. Okay. So inside my CSS folder, I have another folder, and the name of that folder is fonts. Then inside that, I still have a folder CSS, and then I'll be using this all.min.css, and that's it. Now those CSS files are linked. Now I need to create the header, and I will be giving it a class of header to make things easy for you. And inside the header, first thing I need is a kind of logo. So I'll be using the H1 logo. This is the ID I'm giving, and so we can write here any name that you like, maybe mini web or your portfolio or whatever. It can be anything. Then I need to create the nav, and I'll be giving it a class of the same thing. I'm sorry. And then I need to create the a links, I mean those links, and I'll be giving it a class of n links. That's what I usually do. And inside this, if I put hash mark, it goes nowhere. I could put like the google.com like this, and this will take it to that place. When I click on something that is written over here, it can be anything, a button, an image, just anything. So I'll be just writing home. That makes sense. I'm sorry. So here just I was boiling some water. I have to see if that is happening or not. Okay, okay. I'm just carrying my system with me. That's okay. If I had not looked at that, it could have been bad thing. But anyway, I'm back. I'm sorry. Okay, now I will just duplicate this line by pressing Shift Option down arrow. If you are on a bender, then it's Shift Alt down arrow, and this makes things easy for us. This can be about. If you're making a portfolio website, then it has to be about you, or it could be maybe your portfolio here, portfolio here, and then duplicate this one more time. Then it could be your skills or your services. Let's make it easy. Then it can be about me, yeah, and then one more line that can be contact me, just contact, and that completes this thing. Now I need to create those icons on the right side. It can be the shop icons, social media icons, or icons to contact you. So let's call them social. Makes sense. And inside this I need to have those I is for Font Awesome. If I go to the Font Awesome website, I have opened that, but let's look for maybe search. I mean, I am searching for search inside the search, kind of nice thing. So internet is not that fast, so it may take some time. If I write I, press tab or enter, it completes itself. Then I need to give it a class, and for dash search, let's see if it completes or not. Now I need to go to my system, and here is my file that I created, and that has not worked. So I need to make it FAS maybe. FAR means Font Awesome regular, FAS means Font Awesome simple, FAB means Font Awesome brands. So that is easy. Now I need to duplicate this line, like first is search, then it can be the user icon, USCR user, yes. Duplicate it one more time, and it can be shopping dash bag. It could be shopping cart also. Yes, that has worked. Now I need to display these things all along the, like the width of the page. They should be laid out nicely. I think the header is done, so I need to go to the CSS file and style the things. So first thing first, I need to remove all the padding and the margin which is given by the browsers by default. Guys, if I'm rushing, you do not have to rush. You do not have to complete the tutorial. You just have to understand. Okay, try to make sense. But I'm doing, I have a problem. I have a website in front of me that I am trying to replicate. I created that website like 3 days ago or 2 days ago, and today I'm going to recreate that in front of you. I mean, I'm demonstrating you like how this thing can be done, what are the options, what are the problems that you face, and like that. So after this, we need to create the body, and body needs to have some width. It can be 100%, and VW means view width. That is kind of same thing. Height can be automatic. We do not have to count itself. If we start counting, then it will become difficult for us. And that one more line we can add here, that is box sizing, and it is border box, just a formality. Just you can leave without it also. And now we need to style the header that we added, and we have given a class of header to that header. What does it need? It needs some width, and we are going to give it 100% width. And now it needs some height. We are going to give it a bit narrower, so maybe 66 pixels makes sense. And what else we need? We need to it to have a kind of white background, so we could just write here white, no, white, or I could just write the code of a white code, that is FFF. And it needs, okay, let's see how does it look right now. Nothing is looking anything, because this whole body is white, so hence this will not look. If we want to differentiate this from the other things, then we can give it some shadow, that is box shadow. And on the x-axis it can be like 2 pixels. On the y-axis, y means up and down, x means left and right, left to right, left to right, and up and down is y-axis. Okay, it can be like 2 pixels. Then we need to give it some blur, that means smoke, maybe 8 pixels. And then we need to give it the color. What is the color of this whole thing? No, we do not want to do it like this. I will do it manually. 0 0 0 0.1. You can give it just any color, and then you place your mouse on this, cursor on this, then you can change the color as you like. Okay, now if I go back to my browser, now there is some subtle change, and I can maybe change that later on. Or I think we need to change it on the y-axis, maybe 3, what is that, maybe 3 pixels. Something is not good here. No, this is not how it works. um, I need to change this, maybe 3 pixels. Let's see how does it work. Okay, I will do one thing. I will go to my body and give it some different color, that is FA. It's kind of white color, but it's kind of subtle white. It's smoky kind of. So you can see the difference now. Now I need to style the header. It is not laid out properly, so we have to do this. Display flex. Flex is magic, and when you do this thing, things start getting into some shape. Now I need to put this thing, that is justify content. I want this content to be laid out across the width of the page, so that is space around or space between will throw this to the extreme edges, and around will keep it bit inside of the page. And now I need to align these items to the center of this header, the header which is having the height of 66 pixels. So if I want to put the things in the middle center, so that is align items center. If I refresh now, things will be in the center, and that's making sense. Now I need to style these things, and these things, they are looking very ugly. But first thing first, I will go to my Google Fonts and I will look for this Roboto font. I'll be using this font, and I'm using this language over here. It should be Latin. Where is Latin? Latin. Yes, now it is Latin. I think we are going to use the Robotov. This is a kind of nice font. So I will go to import because I am importing this font to the CSS file. So I will just copy this thing, not the CSS, not the style things. Okay. And at the top of my CSS file, just paste this line. Now this font is imported. Now I will go back to the browser and copy this line. Yes, I want to use this font. I think maybe in the whole of the website. So this should happen inside the body. Now if I refresh my page now, there will be some change. You can see. Okay, now I need to style this thing. This is looking very ugly. So those links are inside. But first thing first, I will style this n links, and they should have no underline. That is, text decoration should be none. If I do it now, the underline should be gone, but I still need to make them so those links are inside my nav, and that is a links. They should have a padding about 30 pixels, and if I refresh it now, there will be some change. Yes, there is some change. I do not like the color, so we can change the color as well. So that is, color can be black. I could just try gray. That makes sense. I can change that color as I want. I think this is making sense. Maybe, yeah, it's looking fine. Now I need to style those icons as well. So those icons are inside social, and those are eye icons. Inside social, whatever is an eye tag, they should have a padding, maybe to the left, margin left or padding left. Let's give it some padding to the left, maybe around 20 pixels. And if I refresh it now, there will be some change. Maybe I can increase this, maybe 24 pixels, but the font size is bigger, so I will reduce the font size, maybe 0.8 ems. Let's see how it works. Kind of looking fine. If they are looking very bright, we can change their opacity also, so it can be 0.7. Let's see how it works. And they are looking bit dim now. If you are not observing the distance, I will reduce it further. You can see it now, but I think 7 is fine. The header is done. Header is looking fine, absolutely nice. Now I need to create that banner kind of thing. Okay, I will come out of my header and I will create the main and give it a class of main. Yes, inside the main, first thing first, I will create that banner. So that can be an img and give it a class of banner. Yes, now inside the img folder, I will try to look for some image that looks like banner. How many banners I have over here? So many banners I have. Should I look for the name of that banner? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, let's use this one and always write something inside the alt. So banner. If I refresh it now, some image will be loaded. That is an image for a tattoo website. I may be not using this. Yes, I may not use this. Or let's use this. Why not? Now I need to do one thing. I need to give some style to the main, and main should have a width. We do not want this to be 100%. We want this to be around, how about 86%, and its height should be automatic. Understood. Let's see how it works. Still, I need to do one thing. If I want the things to be aligned in the center, then I need to use the margin thing. At the top and bottom 0%, and at the left and right automatic. Okay, take your on style. And this thing has not worked because the image size is different. So I will need to give some sizing to the banner. Okay, let's do this thing to the banner. Its margin should be 0 and auto. Let's try this line if it works or not. I can try something else also. If I try like, let's try this thing to the banner, maybe display it as a flex and justify content in the center. Let's see if it works or not. No, that's very irritating. Maybe I can make it 90 B double. Yeah, and now I need this to be in the center, but it is still not getting in the center. So what is the problem? What is the problem? What is the problem? This banner width. Can I make it 100%? Should I try it? Like its width can be 100 B double. Oh, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. Okay, its width is 100%, 90%, height is automatic, margin is 0 on the top and bottom, and at the left and right it's automatic, but this is not picking up the automatic. If I go back to my browser on the website and I inspect the element and I will try to look for something, what is the gap over here? So click on this thing. Here is the kind of gap. Here is this image, and I need to bring it down a bit. Okay, here is the kind of gap. Where is this gap coming from? This image has a width of 1440. Okay, and now this is included in that as well. So there is a hack. There is one thing. I will do one thing. Okay, B and R. I am creating a div, and inside that div I am going to put this banner image. Let's see how does it work now. It should work, but um, let's give this class banner to this banner. Now this div has two classes, and I think this has worked. So you just knew the thing that works. Okay, now I think margin at the top should be given because this is looking very like this is, there is no breathing space, so we can make it maybe 4%. I will see. That's looking fine. Now I need to create that gallery, that kind of portfolio section, so that thing will still happen inside the main section. So I am going to create a section. This is an element given by the HTML, so you do not have to use div all the times, or only use the div when you cannot figure out something. Okay, so I will call it gallery, and inside the gallery I need to have those boxes. Those boxes have images and some button to buy and some description, so I can give it a create a div with the name of class of box, and inside that box I can have img tag. Now inside this I will use img. Inside img folder I have some images, so I will be using some news images because those are the images I have kind of ready-made images. So let's just give it a name of image, and underneath this I need to create one more div. Yes, because I'll be using this flex again one more time to style the things up. So let's call this details details. Yes, inside this now first thing I need is an h3 tag just for the item name. I'm not giving it any class because this is inside the box, and I can easily inside the details I can easily use that thing. Okay, now I need to create a button, but that button will have two things. That is, one is a kind of cart and the price. So again we need to create a div and call it buy. Yes, that makes sense. It might be looking complicated to you, but this is how things you have to, sometimes you have to create some complex layouts, so you have to use a lot of things. So this is how it is happening. Now I'll be demonstrating this to you how this thing works. So first thing first, it needs a kind of eye icon, that is a font awesome icon. So it will have a class fas far dash shopping bag, and then there can be a p tag just for the price. It can be, and what we are selling just images, maybe, yeah, 0.99 makes sense. And now I need to style the whole thing. All these things are happening inside the box. First thing first, I will style the box, and then I will duplicate this box few more times because, okay, let me show you how this thing works. Okay, inside the box I have an image, and underneath this, okay, do not worry, I'm just going to display it as a flex. Flex direction should be column up and down, CULUM and column. If I open my page now, there will not much to see because it has got no width, so it is like expanding to the whole area. Yes, it should have a width 300 pixels. Makes sense. Now again, details, yes, display them as a flex as well. Now see, there is little change. Again, we have this by that need to be display flex, justify content, space around, and also we want to give some border to that button, so that is border 1 pixel, solid black. But we are going to change this to something else. It needs to have a background as well. We are going to give it a kind of very solid white background, and the color of the text on this thing should be white, black. And what else, it should have a border radius. It should not be too sharp, so maybe around 4 pixels. Maybe it is too large. If I reload it now, there is some change, but the button is looking very ugly. We need to give it some width, maybe 120 pixels, height of maybe 36 pixels. Let me reload it now. It's looking kind of something, but things are not aligned in the center, so we have to use that thing. Align items in the center. Now you will see things are getting aligned to the center. That looks nice. We do not like that border. I am going to change that border to a very lightish border. But again, these all these things are inside this details need to have a margin at the top around 2%. No, I think I will increase this to maybe around 4%. Okay, now this is looking fine. Now again, one more thing, justify content to the details, space between. Let's see how it works. Things will be thrown here and there, and that's looking fine. Now the whole box, no, I will duplicate this box few more times. This box is up to here. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But this will not look nice. I need to style the gallery now. All these things are inside the gallery display grid. We are going to use this grid now. Grid template columns. We are going to use a repeat function. How many times we want to repeat this? 3 times is fine. Yeah. And 1% of, I mean, divide that 80% width of the main or the gallery into 3 parts equally. Let me reload it now. This is how it works, but it is not looking good. I can increase this to maybe 4. That's looking nice. I can increase the column gap. CLUM column gap maybe 2%. Let's see how it works. That's looking, yeah, it's looking fine. But now I need to give some margin to the gallery at the top. The gallery should not be struck at the top, so margin at the top should be around 8%. or I may need to increase this. I can write some text at the top as well. Here is our portfolio like that. Now all these things, we want to give some gap in the rows. So row gap around 8%. How does it work? It is not looking good. Maybe 16%. That's looking fine. Now I can change the name of those images. I mean, that's up to you. I can add few more images. 2, 3. Let's see how does it work. Yeah, and they are getting I mean, they are placing them itself. It's looking fine. You have a kind of portfolio website ready. I think those 4 images are too much. Maybe I can increase the width of the box, and let's do this thing. Box width can be 340 pixels, and here I will make it 3 instead of 4, and that's looking fine. Now I can increase the gap, that is column gap, from 2% to maybe 4%. Who maybe 6%. And yes, the gallery should have some padding at the left of around 2%. Let's see how it works. um, and that's looking fine. Now this thing is centered. You have a kind of website ready, that is a kind of portfolio website. When I hover on them, I can change the color. But yeah, let's do that. But first I will create the footer. So we are done with the main section. Main is done. Now we need to create the footer. Footer is given by the HTML, so we do not have to create any section or div. And I'm going to give it a class of footer. Inside the footer, I need to have like a very kind of simple footer. So first thing I need is what is the first thing that I need? Um, Again, I'm going to use those social things. And why not? I can just copy from here. I will be using different icons, but it's going to be same thing. Yes. So first thing is these icons, but instead of these search and all those things, I'll be using social icons. So that is FAB for dash Instagram, and I will delete these because I can duplicate the line above. I will duplicate it like 2, 3, 4 times maybe. It can be TWITT Twitter. We do not need Twitch here, maybe. Yeah. And then maybe your Facebook makes sense. Then maybe it can be your something else, maybe your this WhatsApp. And then we need to have one more thing, that is I will be using the p tag, and maybe I could give it a class, but let's leave without that. Okay, now I need to create this copy, right? That is and copy copy. It will suggest you mini web 2020. That's making sense. Now I need to create this button. When I click on that button, the website should go to the top. So come to this place where your website begins, and here write a, then name equals, then this commas, top, close it, come to the bottom. Sorry, here create an a tag, enter or tab, then hash top, that is the id name, go to top, and that's it. Now I need to style the footer. Footer should have a width. It should be 100%. Its height should be maybe 300 pixels. It should have a margin at the top, 12% maybe. It should have some padding at the top because we want to have some space at the top, around 4%. We want to have some kind of border at the top, 1 pixel solid, a kind of subtle triple E color. Then we need to use this flex again, justify content, space bit, space around. Okay, let's use evenly, and maybe align items. center. If I reload it now, let's see how it works. It's looking fine. If I click on this go to top, it really takes me to the top, and that's making sense. But this footer has got a lot of space at the bottom. We do not like that, so I think I did not have to use this thing over here, but this thing is gone to the top. So maybe I don't need this much height, and now I need to give some margin to the main section or maybe my gallery. Let's give it some margin at the bottom. Margin at the bottom, maybe 12%. Let's see if this do something or not. Not really. I need to give this thing to the to the main section. Okay. Oh, why my footer is not getting all this margin at the top? It can be. This is making sense now. Those fonts are very small, just like the fonts at the top, and your website is ready. You have a kind of portfolio website ready, and it can be an arrow also. So let's look for that arrow over here. A arrow. So I think we are going to use this kind of arrow over here. I will try to look for this arrow. Yes, that's arrow alt circle up. So instead of this go to top, I will be using this I tag, then class of for dash arrow dash. Oh, why just this is the class name. Let's reload it now. If it is, yes, that is done. Now when I hover on this arrow, this should rotate. So this should have a class. It has an ID of top, but that is for the whole thing. Let's give it one more class, that is up. Let's see if it is still here. Yes. So now I need to style this up class dot up. Okay, when I hover on this up, it should rotate. How much? It should rotate 360 degrees. I mean, a full rotation. Then when should it happen? So that is transition. It should happen in 1 second. Then, oh no, all, maybe 0.8. And what else? Maybe ease out. Let's see if it not really. It didn't work. Let me come back over here. That is S I have to add over here. And it is happening. I can increase the size of this phone, and yeah, let's do that. Font size 1M. Its color can be different, maybe red. What is that color? It was already the same color, so I'll be giving it a kind of red color. My mouse is not working properly. It's kind of this color. And if I refresh it now, the color will be different. But upon hover, yes, yeah. So the website is ready. You have a kind of portfolio website ready, and I mean, it was so easy to make. You can give it. Okay, do you want to change those images on the rotation? So those images are inside box. So inside box, whatever is an img tag, when I hover on those things, they should have a rotation. Rotate maybe 360 degrees or 180 degrees, and then I use this transition all in 0.4 seconds. It should happen. Let's see if it works or not. You see that is happening. It could be very fast also. Right now I'm using a whole second or kind of 0.4. If it is like this will happen very fast. I mean, it kind of instant. So you got the idea how these things work. And if you want to give, I can just go on and make it so smooth. I mean, upon hover I can change their color as well. So it's just so easy to do it. There is nothing tough. And by using the media queries, I can make it responsive, but I will not do that now because that will take a little bit more time. And not just that, I can make it responsive with the help of CSS Grid as well. That makes things easy. So maybe next time I will be uploading that video. So yeah, go ahead and try to create this website. I will be putting this website on the GitHub. So maybe I will be putting the content as well too, so you can use that maybe, or maybe may not, but you can just go over here, right click on this thing and save this image. You got the image. That's it. Okay, it's so easy. Just click on the save image and then you start making your own kind of page, and that's it. Yeah, if you are liking this, do let me know. Thank you. Have a great day.